The Defence Abuse Response Task Force, or DART, has recommended the government establish a royal commission into abuse at the Australian Defence Force Academy. A report released today looks specifically at cases of abuse at ADFA that stretch back to 1986. DART has also finalised a report into abuse in the broader Australian Defence Force based on approximately 2,400 complaints. Mike Clay reports.
The DART report paints a disturbing account of abuse allegations dating back to the 1940s, with the 70s and 80s a particularly dark period. It's a story of abuse ignored and the young preyed upon. While the circumstances varied, the one constant was this: almost all the alleged abusers were male. And while men were the victims in 74% of cases, the almost 600 cases of abuse against women are vastly overshadowed by their small representation in defence, and the problem has only gotten worse in recent decades. In the early decades, initiation practices saw the abuse of defence personnel by groups of their peers. Such hazing was implicitly condoned as part of the defence tradition. But in recent decades, most incidences involve a single perpetrator, often in a position of power. The report notes that abuse is now more covert, private and insidious in nature.
He was my superior. You know, what was going to happen if I didn't go through with it? After it happened, I felt wrong, but nothing felt right.
The Navy is singled out as being particularly bad. It makes up almost 40% of cases, but only a quarter of personnel. When it comes to the Australian Defence Force Academy, or ADFA, the task force says Defence mismanaged almost all cases of abuse. A significant cluster of cases have never been thoroughly investigated, and the perpetrators of that abuse have never been called to account. The task force says a royal commission is needed.
We should be doing everything we can do to make sure that sexual assault, sexual misconduct and abuse is not part of the military today.
But the Sex Discrimination Commissioner says a royal commission could serve to open up old wounds and may not be warranted.
As much as I'd like to say sexual abuse doesn't happen in the military or indeed in ADFA today, I can't say that. What I can say is Defence's response to it has changed.
$46 million in reparation payments has been given to victims, and 80 matters have been referred to police. But disturbingly, more than 1,100 alleged abusers are still serving in defence. The Chief of Army has been ironclad against violence towards women in defence.
If that does not suit you, then get out.
But can directives from above change culture, or is a royal commission needed?